Right, so I'm going to read 3 poems from the new book, Mercy, which is coming out today. It's out right now. You can get it right now. I'm going to order mine. The first poem that I'm going to read is Honor. More than once, I've had to part ways with a kitten or cat who had chosen me because I didn't make a living wage and so could not provide for them or stay. More than one small child has insisted on giving me their most treasured possession out of nowhere. One little boy made his mother make a special trip to my work just to deliver it because he said he would, and he didn't forget. How could I possibly live up to this? How can anyone be any one thing all the time? These others in these stories, they are magic. I have witnessed greatness. Imagine children you don't know bothering their parents into making trips to see you at work so they can give you their favorite toy. Stray kittens flopping at your feet, birthing under your bed, following you across the street, crying for you as you pass the carriage to a friend. How can I possibly not try to live up to them? How can I not honor their trust enough to grieve my many failings? Perhaps the anchoring capacity for remorse is what they recognized in the first place, and to what they offered tribute. But those haunts that keep me honest can only establish the boundaries. Their pains are not permitted to overtake the glimmers. The feelings of favor, respect, acknowledgement, the honors conferred freely in the spirit. Those are worth remembering, worth being proud of. Under the crushing weight of ineffably fraught, complex circumstances, we accomplish each great thing: love, discipline, competence, mastery, creation. Celebrate them. One time, I cleaned a scene and there were orbs in the after pictures where, in the before, none had been. One night, I spent all night dabbing in peroxide and bleach, dabbing, gloves swampily suctioned around cramping hands, dabbing so that someone who had profoundly lost got to keep something. And when she hugged me goodbye, she thanked me, the kind of gratitude that is mutual. Thank you for asking, for allowing me to help you. The opportunity was a gift to my soul, one that I have striven to live up to. I witness, I invite your judgment. The stuff golden rules are made of. One time, a young man at a bus stop saw me waiting for everyone else to board and waited for me to go on first, because he was a gentleman. And I looked him in the eyes with a little nod, a little thank you smile, and he said very softly, almost to himself and God, thank you. One time, a beautiful teenager, the friend of a friend of a friend, was rolling at an after party full of sharks and part of the sprawl that people like me only work in. And instead of getting creeped on by some guy, I sat with him. Gave him the kind of back rub anyone in his position should be given. The kind where the giver is a halfway decent masseuse with no desire to fuck you. He found me later in the hallway and said, I peeked when you were massaging me. His rust orange crown and glory glowing in fluorescent light, his dark eyes glittering. When my friend said goodbye to her friend, he gave me the shyest peck and then darted off. That is the sweetest kiss I have ever been given, and it has exquisite competition. One festival, during the closing ceremony, holding hands with someone I'd been seeing around a tiny crush. The circle was led by a woman I respected very much. She asked us to close our eyes and recall our favorite moment of the festivities. Eyes closed, feeling his hand in mine, I thought, this is my favorite moment. Then I leaned over and gave him a tiny peck on the cheek. That is the sweetest kiss I have ever given, of all the big loves. In a year of getting rides to the open mic from Kit, leaning out of her van for the night air, We were nearly always alone because she took the back way, but one night we were stopped at a red light next to a rickshaw driver, enchanted by the electricity, the temperature, the petrichor, happy, free of the harrowing hollows of home, free. I looked at him, and he looked at me. He was so beautiful. I was certain I recognized him from my dreams. I smiled at him, and he smiled at me. Easy, open, a little surprised, loving. That is the sweetest affair I've yet shared. I like to imagine him somewhere, showering someone with that beautiful love, and it makes me untellably happy. One time, stopped at a red light during a very lonely decade. A young woman was taking her bike across the street in front of me. She was so bright, healthy and rotund, focused, that I had to smile at her bravery, her beauty, her strength. Feeling my eyes, she turned and faced me, and I braced for all the things, and she smiled back. One time, as a teenager in the company of women at a fair, they spotted a beautiful kilted man and started talking about him among themselves. I marched in through the mud over to him and stopped in his way. Politely, he turned his glory on me with a questioning, patient look for which I had no answer. I just stood there for a second before darting off back to the women who had stopped talking and were staring behind me. I turned to see him looking directly at them, flashing his outer thigh to expose a massive dragon tattoo. That was my finest moment to date. And there have been some zingers. One drum circle, my offering inspired songs, changed the winds, blessed the lands. One brave soul seized the opportunity to do something she did not have to. And it was inspirational. More than once, I've received marriage proposals at bus stops, which were not taking experiences, but were, nevertheless, accompanied by the same look my husband gave me at our fasting. Like he was so glad to be awake. Like the cigar box of love letters stashed away in a safe place. A treasured litany of indelicate errors of judgment in but one aspect of failure's expansive tutelage toward knowledgeable restraint. Strength. Unknowns replaced with limits or space. They don't have to only contain good memories for them to be worth saving. The stuff of legends, as great as they were, they remain.